Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back and thank you for supporting me. I'm Coretta. In this video, I will show how I designed a shaker Christmas ornament in Cricut Design Space. Come on y'all, let's get started. For this project, I will be using Koala double-sided glossy photo paper. I will be using cardstock in the colors of my choice. I have some red and I have some foil, some silver foil cardstock. I'm also going to be using some acetate, some art glitter glue, 3-in-1 Beacon 3-in-1 bond glue, some ribbon. I have some chunky glitter and some beads. I will leave a list of these items in the description of this video. For this project, I am going to design a snow globe shaped shaker Christmas ornament. So to start, I'm going to add my shapes to the canvas. To add my shapes, I am going to select shapes on the left toolbar. I'm going to select a circle and a rounded corner square. I'm going to select shapes again to close the panel. I'm going to move these shapes out of the way. And then I'm going to start creating the Christmas ornament. So I'm going to select my circle and I'm going to duplicate it. And to duplicate, I'm going to make sure that the circle is selected. And then on the top of the layers panel, I am going to select the duplicate icon. Next, I am going to size this circle to 3 inches. So to size the circle, I am going to select the circle and then on the top toolbar under size, I'm going to keep my lock proportions locked. Then I'm going to change my width to 3 inches and hit enter. The height will change proportionately. Now I'm going to duplicate the rounded square. So selecting the rounded square and on the top of the layers panel, I'm going to duplicate this as well. Then I'm going to size it. So to size it, I'm just going to move it over here. And then I'm going to go to the top of the top toolbar and I am going to unlock the lock proportion. Now I am going to size this rounded square by dragging the sides to my desired size. So I want it like about. Once I have that sized in position, I am going to duplicate it and then I am going to make this one slightly larger than the one above. So I'm just going to make it slightly larger. So now I have my snow globe shape and I'm going to center everything horizontally. And to center horizontally, I'm going to select everything. And then on the top toolbar under Align, I'm going to select Center Horizontally. With everything still selected, I am going to size it to 5 inches by going to the top toolbar, and I am going to make sure that the lock proportion is locked, and then I'm going to change my height to 5 inches and hit enter. Because this is 3 individual shapes, I am going to weld them together to make one shape. To weld, I am going to make sure that everything is selected. And then I'm going to go to the bottom of the layers panel and I'm going to select Combine. and then well. Now I have a snow globe shape, and I am going to change the color so that you can see what I'm going to do next. And to change the color, I'm going to make sure that my snow globe shape is selected. And on the top toolbar next to basic cut, I'm going to select the color swatch. And I am going to change the color to yellow. And then I'm going to click anywhere on the canvas to close the window. Now I can start creating my layers for my shaker ornament. So to create a layer, I'm going to add an internal offset. To add an internal offset, I am going to select the yellow shape. And then on the top left of the canvas, I am going to select edit, and then under effects I'm going to select offset, and I want to add an internal offset. And to get an internal offset, I'm going to change my distance to a negative number, and so I'm going to change my number to a negative 0.140. And then I'm going to hit the tab key on my keyboard so that I can see the actual offset. Now you can always use the slider bar that is on this window here to change your distance, but I am going to just type mine in. So once I'm satisfied with my distance, I'm going to select apply, and then I'm going to select edit again to close the panel. Next, I am going to select the yellow shape and the black internal offset, and I am going to duplicate it by going to the top of the layers panel and select duplicate. Then I'm going to move it over here. So let me move this over to the left a little bit to give me some working room. I'm going to move that back over here. With the duplicate still selected, I am going to go to the bottom of the layers panel, and I am going to select slice. Now, to select slice, you need two objects selected. And so I have the yellow object and I have the black object. And then on the bottom of the layers panel, I am going to select slice. Then after the slice, I am going to delete the internal offset, and then I'm going to delete the middle of my yellow piece here. So now I have the outer edge for my shaker ornament. Okay. So for this project, I am creating a shaker ornament, and I want to close off this bottom portion here, because if I put my chunky glitter and beads in this shape here, all of that is going to fall to the bottom of this element here, and I don't want it. So to close this off, I am going to duplicate the solid. I'm going to delete this internal offset right here because I don't need it. And then I'm going to select this yellow, solid yellow shape here, and I'm just going to duplicate it. So I'm going to go to the duplicate, and then I'm just going to move this to an open area down here. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to duplicate the rounded square. And then I'm going to position it. So let's arrange this to the front. I'm going to go to the top toolbar, select arrange and bring to front. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to position this rounded square over top of the top part of this solid yellow piece here. So I'm just going to position it just so that the black square touches the top part of the bottom of this yellow piece here. So I want it to be where the black part touches the base here. So then once I have that done, I'm going to select the yellow piece and the black piece, and I'm going to go over to the bottom of the layers panel, and I am going to select slice. And then I'm going to delete the pieces that I don't want. I gotta slice some of that off because it's still there. So let me duplicate this and take off that little piece right there. Slice. And that leaves me with this piece here. And I'm just going to delete all of that. And then so we can see what I'm doing, I'm going to turn this piece green. So I'm going to go up to the top menu and I'm going to turn that green. Now I'm going to position this green layer over top of the bottom of this open yellow layer here. I'm going to position it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to size it so that it is not fully covering the edges of the yellow piece here, because I don't want to change the shape of this open yellow piece here. I don't want to change the shape of it. I just want it to close off the bottom, so I'm not making the green piece edge to edge. Now, once I have it where I want it, I'm going to select both the green piece and the open yellow piece. And then I'm going to go to the bottom of the layers panel. I'm going to select combine and weld. So now this is the portion of my shaker ornament. So my shaker pieces, like my glitter, chunky glitter, and my beads are going to go into this circle here. And now it won't fall down to the bottom here. It'll just fall in this area right here. So next, I want to duplicate this solid yellow layer, because this is going to be the layer that I need for my acetate to cover this yellow piece here. So I'm going to select my yellow piece, my solid yellow piece, and then I'm going to duplicate it, and then I'm going to change the color to gray. And then I'm going to move this out of the way. So I'm going to put this over here out of the way so that I can finish designing my ornament. So the shaker layer is complete. Now I need to create a way for the shaker ornament to hang. And to create the hanger piece, I'm going to duplicate this circle 2 times. I'm going to move this one down here, and then I'm going to duplicate it again and move this one down here. So after I duplicate it, I'm going to change one of the circles to a blue color, and that's so that we can see like what I'm going to do next. And what I'm going to do is I am going to select, let me select anywhere on the canvas so that I can close that panel. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to size this black circle to approximately 1 inch proportionately. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to go up to the top toolbar, and with the lock proportion locked, I'm going to change this to 1.5, and then I'm going to hit enter. I am going to select this black ornament, and I'm going to move it on top of the blue ornament. And then I'm going to align it center. So I'm going to select the blue circle and the black circle. I'm going to go to the top toolbar, select align, and then align center. With the blue and the black circle still selected, I am going to go to the bottom of the layers panel and I am going to select slice. After the slice, I am going to delete all of the unwanted pieces. And now I have a circle with a hole in it. So I'm going to size this blue circle and then I'm going to position it on the yellow, solid yellow piece. So I'm going to position it where I want it, and I want to make sure that the yellow and the blue layers are touching. So I'm going to put it about right there. And then once I'm satisfied, I'm going to select this blue layer and the solid yellow layer. And on the top toolbar, I'm going to, hold on, let me fix that because I want it down just a little further. I'm going to fix that. And then I'm going to select the blue circle and the yellow circle. And I'm going to go to the top toolbar. I'm going to select align and align center horizontally. And that's just to make sure that the hanger is centered on the ornament. With both layers still selected, I'm going to go to the bottom of the layers panel. I'm going to select combine and select weld. Now I'm going to add my image that I created. So I already created the image and I uploaded it to Cricut. So I'm just going to add it to the canvas. To add it to the canvas, I am going to select upload on the left toolbar. And I'm going to select the image that I want. And I'm going to select add to canvas on the bottom right. I'm going to size and position the image on the blue layer. Okay, so I'm satisfied with how the image is sized. Now I'm going to create the decorative elements for the bottom part of the snow globe. So I want a plaque to go on the bottom of the snow globe. So I'm going to select the rounded square and I'm going to duplicate it. And then I'm going to arrange it to the front. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to size it so that it sits on the bottom portion of the snow globe. So I'm just sizing it how I want it. And then once I get it sized how I want it, I'm going to add like a decorative piece to it. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move it off here. And I am going to go and duplicate this circle. And then I'm going to duplicate the circle again. And then I'm just going to size it down. And I'm going to position the circle on the end here of the plaque that I have. I'm going to delete this one. And I'm just going, so that they'll be the same size. I deleted that one. And I'm just going to duplicate the one that I've already sized. And I'm going to position it here. And once I have it how I want it, then I'm just going to make sure everything is aligned. I'm just going to select everything. And then I'm going to go to align and align vertically so that everything is centered. And while they're still selected, I'm going to go to the bottom of the layers panel. I'm going to select combine and weld. And that creates one shape. I'm going to bring it back up here. And now I'm just going to position it how I want it, and I am satisfied with that. I'm also going to make a small strip, so I'm going to duplicate that, and then I'm just going to make a really small strip here, and I'm going to place it up here. So I'm going to place it right there, but I want it really thin like that. And that is going to be the decorative piece for my plaque here. I want to turn this piece, I want to turn these pieces here the color that I'm going to actually cut my cardstock out of. So I'm going to turn this blue piece, I'm going to turn it red, and then I'm going to turn this yellow piece red. I'm going to turn my plaque white, and then I'm going to turn that piece white as well, or I'm going to turn it silver. And for this piece here, I'm going to add the year to it. So on the left toolbar, I'm going to select text. I'm going to type 2025, click anywhere, and then I'm going to change the font. So to change the font, I'm going to make sure that the text is selected. On the top toolbar, I'm going to select the font. The panel will open on the left. I'm going to select System so that I can see the fonts on my computer. Then I'm going to select an Arial black font because I want something thick but basic. And then I'm going to click anywhere on the canvas to close that panel. And then I'm just going to position and size the text onto my plaque right here. I'm going to select my plaque, hold my shift key, and select my text. And then I'm going to go to the top toolbar, select Align, and then center horizontally. And that will make my text centered on my plaque. So I don't want to cut separate, I don't want to cut cardstock for each one of these numbers. So I'm going to make this plaque a print then cut. So again, selecting my plaque and holding my shift key and selecting my text, I'm going to go to the bottom of the layers panel and I'm going to select flatten. Now I have finished designing my ornament, so I'm going to delete all of the pieces now that I don't want. So I don't want this circle or this rounded square here. And so all I have left are my pieces. So now I'm going to create all of the layers that I need to cut. So I'm going to zoom out a little. And then I am going to, first, I have my acetate sheet right here. Then I have my print then cut layers here. And then I have, this is one of my decorative pieces right here. So let me put this down here. I also have my shaker piece here. So this is my shaker piece. And I want to duplicate this 6 times so that I can create a pocket for the chunky glitter and the beads. So when I glue this, it's going to be thick to put this in, put my acetate on top of it, and glue it to the base. And then the shaker ornaments will not fall out. So I'm going to select this one and I'm going to duplicate it 6 times. So that's 1 down here, out the way. That's 2 right here. I'm going to select both of those and I'm going to have 4 and then I'm going to have 6. So I have 6 of those pieces here. Then for the back piece, I'm going to duplicate the back piece so that I can glue two pieces together and make my ornament sturdy. So I'm going to duplicate that one time. And that is all of the pieces for my shaker ornament. I am going to get these pieces cut out and I'll be back to show you how I assemble it. So to assemble, I'm going to start with my shaker layers here. And what I'm going to do is I am going to glue all 6 pieces together like this. So I'm going to glue all the 6 layers together like that. Then I'm going to glue the 2 back pieces together. Now I'm going to glue my image to the back of the ornament. Now I'm going to glue the shaker layers onto the back of the ornament on top of the image like this. Now I'm going to add my chunky glitter and the beads. Then I'm going to glue the acetate onto the top of the shaker. When I am applying the glue around the area where the acetate is going to go, I want to make sure that I kind of keep the glue even. So I'm going to make sure that the glue is even strip all the way around, because I don't want any of my glitter or beads to come out. And so I'm just going to make sure that I use the glue evenly. I'm going to add the final layer to the top of the acetate layer. And then finally, I'm going to glue on my decorative pieces. All right, y'all, here is the finished shaker Christmas ornament. I think it is so cute. Oh my God, it's so cute. What do y'all think? Tell me what you guys think. All right, guys, that's all for now. I hope that you're able to follow along with my process. If you like this video and would like to see more, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and consider subscribing to my channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a video. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I will respond back. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.